welcome back to my channel. I'm Kostandiina, an Albanian that is living in Germany for over 6 years, more specifically in Munich. And today I'm here to talk with you about renting in Germany. So we will capture everything from how much does it cost to how difficult it actually is. I will share with you my experience and a few tips that can be useful for you to find your ideal apartment here. But just before we start with this video, I want to remind you just to hit the subscribe button down below if you're new in my channel. It would really mean a lot to me. And also if you want to watch more videos about Germany, I'm gonna do that. Alright, let's start from the beginning, the years 2017, when I just moved here in Munich. Luckily, there was an agency that helped me with the accommodation service, and just like anyone that is coming here as a student at the time, I chose to live in a vacay. Well, I don't know if I chose it, but that was basically my only option. And for all of you that are wondering what is a vacay, it's actually a Wohngemeinschaft. Yeah, it actually means sharing the apartment with a few other people. So you will have to share the kitchen, the bathroom, sometimes even the bedroom. Yes, and that was my case. So I was sharing the bedroom with another girl for more than 6 months, but luckily it was a good experience because we became friends. But that's not always the case. So you gotta be careful choosing a vacay, even though it's the cheapest option. So I was paying at the time 350 euro, if I'm not wrong. Then they increased it to even 400 euro. But anyway, so for the vacay, it is a good option, but where can you find it, right? There are a few sites, and one more common that people are using here, it's called WG Gesucht. I will leave the link down below. I will leave the links for a few websites where you can actually apply. All right, going back to the story, 2017, right? I was in the WG and it was all right for the time as I was doing an internship and the salary was not that much, so that option was perfect. And as soon as that internship finished, I actually had to find another apartment, Wohnung or WG. So again, the connections are really important. You gotta have network, that helps. There was a previous colleague of mine that he was leaving for 2 months. So I actually rented his place for 2 months. Then I moved somewhere else until I finally found the apartment that I'm currently living, and that was also through connections. So there was someone that knew someone about this apartment, and yes, I luckily found it. But that's not always the case. So majority of the cases, either you are in another country and you have to find the apartment from this other country, or you're already here and you found something, you don't like it, you want to change. So let's talk about the process of applying. There are a few websites. Yeah, one of the most famous websites is ImmoScout24. And for this one, I remember 5 years ago, you could just apply and the landlords were gonna write back at you. But now actually you have to pay a monthly fee for the app if you want to even have a slight chance to get just an appointment for an apartment. Many of my friends have done is to look through the Facebook groups. Yes, Facebook groups are very useful here. But wait a second, you gotta be careful from the scams, because it also has happened to me that many people want to take advantage of you desperate there trying to find an apartment, and they scam you like, oh, you gotta give me 3,000 euro before, or you gotta pay in advance, oh, it will be through Booking or whatever, Airbnb, I don't know, I don't care. But how it actually should work is you see the apartment, you go to the appointment, and then you get the contract, you sign the contract, and then you get the keys, and then you start paying, right? That's ideally how it should work. You shouldn't pay before you get your keys, right? At least this is what I do, because I remember back then when I was looking for an apartment, they were like, oh yeah, but pay me 3,000 euro and then I will give you the keys next day. And I was like, this is not working with me. No. Another way of finding the apartment here in Munich, but not just in Munich, in all Germany, I do believe it's the same. There is eBay Kleinanzeigung. I don't think I pronounced it right, this app. It's like an app of eBay for the used things, kind of. Kleinanzeigen. eBay Kleinanzeigen. I will write it down below. I will leave the website, whatever. I can even put like a sign here of the app, so you know. And I know many friends of mine that actually found their apartment through this app. It seems to be good, even though for me, it hasn't worked, but every person has their own path, their own way of finding it, so it depends, right? For some people, it's so easy that they find their apartment in the first appointment. For some, I know that they have visited like 50 apartments and they still are looking, or they didn't get accepted in any. It happens. So we covered up 5 main forms of you applying, which are WG gesucht, ImmoScout24, Immowelt.de, Facebook groups, and the eBay Kleinanzeigen. But there is not always a possibility of you finding the apartment online. Sometimes, if you're a student, you can also go around university. Some landlords actually put the notifications there. I even know some friends that they have put on a newspaper that they are looking for an apartment, and somehow they found it like that. Sometimes through networking you can find, so there are a lot of ways. But if you are new, or if you're not even in Germany, these 5 options, I hope it will help you. But don't get desperate, because it will take time, yeah? I mean, minimum you should give it 2 to 3 months, even though each case it's different. Next topic, the documents that you need to apply successfully to get the apartment. For students, I mean, you are a student, so you can show your degree, but for anyone that is working, they would need proof of 3 last salaries. And I do know that landlords don't like if you are in probation time. So yeah, it would be good if you're not in probation time, but I know. Otherwise, you can just show your contract, because otherwise you won't have the 3 salaries. The next document is application form that they will provide to you, and you gotta fill. Of course, you will share with them your ID, and there is something very specific that I only know here in Germany, which is called Schufa. And I'm like, what is this Schufa? Because I didn't know at the time. I have it here. It's a credit rating agency that provides information about all your financial history. So this Schufa will actually tell the landlord if you owe money or if you haven't paid the rent in other apartments. So the landlord, it will feel safer if they have this Schufa, and many of them do require it. You can pay for the Schufa around 30 euro, or with the ImmoScout actually 24. If you pay for the subscription, you get it for free. Well, it's included in the payment, but all these apps, they can provide you the Schufa, and you have to pay around 25-30 euro, but you can also get it for free. It's just that you have to wait longer time to be delivered to your home. So I think that's about it. Yeah, 3 salaries, your ID, your application form, and Schufa. Okay, it's not that many, right? But even if you provide all the documents, it's not guaranteed that you are getting it. I know I'm being a bit not that positive now, but it's just from my experience. I've had many rejections, and that is normal. The important is to don't give up, because only one apartment has to say yes to you. Remember, you only need one yes. So it doesn't matter if you get 100 no's, as long as you get one yes. All right, back to positivity. Next topic, how much it actually costs. Oh my God. This is a hot topic. Renting in Munich, I believe it's the most expensive city actually in Germany. And even if you want to rent a studio or a small apartment in center of Munich, it will be 1,200 for a person, sometimes even 1,500. And now we are talking about a flat 35 square meter, maximum 40 square meter for a person. And for two people, if you want an apartment around 50 square meter up to 70, you will have to pay around 2,000 euro monthly. I mean, you can find also cheaper, it depends. But an interesting part here in Germany, not just in Munich, it's that when you're applying, they will show you the cold rent, then you will have the Nebenkosten, which are the utilities, and then you will have the warm rent. Warm rent is what you will actually pay. So even if you see like, oh, the cold rent is 700 euro, that's amazing, right? But then utilities are around 300 euro, so total you will pay 1,000. It's extremely difficult, even if you are willing sometimes to pay 1,800 euro. That would be a normal here in Munich, and you might not get it, right? You're like, oh, yes, here it is. I'm willing to pay 1,800 euro, but you have to wait for the line, because for each apartment there are average 100 applications just for one apartment. So that's why you gotta apply. Another good option, if you don't want to live in the center because it's too expensive, of course, not affordable, the transportation here in Munich is really good. So you can actually find an apartment, I don't know, in other areas that are even half an hour with public transportation to Marienplatz, right? Let's take as center, our base, Marienplatz. So 20 minutes, half an hour by public transportation. It's actually not that far, so you can look for apartments even 10 kilometers away from Munich. I mean, it's still Munich, right? Anyway, point is, now in Germany we are paying 49 euro for the transportation, so you can actually just pay 49 euro and you could be living even half an hour away. Some people even live in Augsburg and they come in Munich. So there are different options, I'm just saying. All right, and I did capture this part of is it difficult, how difficult it is. I don't want to lie to you guys, it's gonna be difficult. Life is not easy, especially finding a place to rent here in Munich, not easy. But doable, yes, it's possible. Don't give up. You just gotta keep applying, right? Apply. Last tip for you, something that I do think it's very helpful, is to filter based on your needs, especially in these apps. So to the price range that you are looking for, to how many square meters or how far from the center. It is pretty useful, and you can turn on the notifications, so every time there will be released a new apartment, you can apply right away. So yeah, I really hope that you can find your ideal apartment. Finger crossed. And if you made it up to here, this was all the guide through Munich, Germany, renting. I hope you really find it useful. I share with you all my knowledge. So if you did, please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you want to watch more videos of Germany. And I will see you the next time. Cheers! Bye bye!